Hello, everyone, and a very, very warm welcome in this very chilly weather to this week's Ask the Expert Live. Just a reminder that if you're watching this at home and you have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat box, and we'll be able to answer them for you. So, my name is Crystal. I'm one of the project managers at SADAG. And I am joined by a phenomenal panel of guests. Today, we're joined by three of our SADAG support group leaders, as well as the lovely Anita, who is the SADAG support group coordinator. So we have an incredibly exciting event launching this Wednesday coming, which is our annual live support group leader training. Anita, as the support group coordinator, tell us a little bit about why this training is so exciting for SADAG.
Thank you, Crystal. This training is super exciting for us, and we have so many people that are wanting to join. I don't know if I'll give you the numbers later, maybe. But this support group training is our first and annual live training that we have. We have it every year, annual, and it's super exciting in that people join the sessions, and then after that session, then we have an assessment, and this goes on for like 6 weeks, and it's made up of, like I said, 6 sessions. So once you're done that, you'll go through it, and you'll be the support group leader that you want to be at the end of those sessions. It's fantastic. It's a great opportunity for you to be a support group leader, to join the session. So yeah, Crystal.
So, Anita, I believe that this training is kicking off on Wednesday at 10 a.m. For those of our audience who are working or not able to join live at 10 a.m., are they then not able to do the training? How does that work?
No, Crystal. Those that cannot make it, for example, you've got whatever prior arrangements made, you are more than welcome to do the training, and you can just send an email to supportgroups@anxiety.org.za, and we will send you the sessions. This will be the pre-recorded session. So the session that we have in that particular day, we'll have it recorded, and in that way you can still do the training.
Amazing. So if I want to take part, but I can't join during the day, I can still register. I'm live on the Zoom registration page.
Yes, you can. You're more than welcome to register live, because we will have our tables where we could still send you the emails with the information for the training. So yes.
Amazing. So everyone who registers, guys, because I know this question comes up so often, anyone who registers, even if they aren't actually able to attend the Zoom meeting, will be sent the link with the recording. And then Anita, remind me, how long do I have to do? So I watch the video, I submit the assessment. Is there a deadline for when I have to submit by?
Yes, for the live training. Yes, absolutely. So the session happens on Wednesday, like Crystal mentioned, at 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock on that Wednesday. You'd have from that Wednesday right up to Sunday at 5 o'clock. We'll just confirm this so that you can submit your assessment. The reason why we also submit that assessment is so that we could go through it, have a look at, did you understand the content? Was everything okay? Was there something that people were not familiar with? So we can always go, when we have the next session, just talk about it as well. And then we send you the second part of the training. So based on what you found, you happy, we happy with the assessments, and then you get the next part of the training. So yeah.
Amazing. So I think what's so brilliant about the SADAG training is, and just quickly, Anita, how many people do we have registered for the launch on Wednesday?
Should I do a drum roll?
A
We
drum roll,
have,
definitely a drum roll.
okay, we have a total of 765 registrants. Yes, Michael, what?
765 registrants. It's Friday afternoon. Guys, you do not want to miss out on this. So if you haven't already, Our press team will just copy the link to register and share it in the chat. So, going to some of our incredible support group leaders who are the heart behind SADAG. What we really wanted to do in today's session was give you a little bit of a taste. So we have our veteran support group leader, Tazwell, who I have known and who's been a support group leader for the last 3 years. Sorry, Tazwell. Tazwell runs a support group for depression, anxiety, ADHD, and bipolar disorder. It's an in-person support group in Cape Town. Tazwell, as a veteran, what we find so often is that people are like, I'm scared. I'm scared to sign up. What happens if I can't do it? What happens if I don't like it? For those that are feeling apprehensive and are almost nervous to click that registration link, what would you say to them?
Hi, Crystal. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I was also one of those people that was hesitant to click that link, but one just have to remember that when there's so much power in just listening to people, and sometimes you think that there is so much that you need to do, and we are just sometimes just reminded that we could just listen, and over time people would find comfort in your stories, and even like to discover your own voice in that space and without feeling judgmental towards anything. So there's always that large expectation, but once you're in it, you take it one step at a time, and that builds courage, that builds resilience. You're able to know how to navigate, how to de-escalate situations, and at the same time, you as a support group leader grows, and just being with people, and you also find you intend in that state, you also find you get to learn so much about yourself as well. And so yeah, if you are in that position where you're hesitant to make that click, you need to also just ask yourself the question: are you a people's person? That is also very important. How's your heart? Is it for the people? Because yes, it can be challenging, but you know all I can say is that we should just take one step at a time and allow people just to share their experience, and that one step of courage will eventually build resilience along the way. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Tazwell. So if I'm someone and I'm sitting here today and I'm like, I really, really want to register, but I don't know if this is the right time for me to launch a group. I don't know if I can commit to launching a group. Anita, can I still do the training?
Yes, absolutely, Crystal. You can still do the training, and when you're ready to launch the group, you're welcome to launch the group there.
Okay,
Yes.
so even at the end, if I'm just like, I'm too nervous, or I've actually realized I'd really like to join a group instead, that's still okay.
Yes, you can join the group, yes. And if you want to start it at any time, you're more than welcome. But we also have a time period. So if you're doing the training and you want to become a support group leader, we also have the time period of a year, which you have to do that. So if you're doing it after 2 years, then we'd ask you to, you know what, rather do a refresher, do the training again, and then you can, become the support group leader, open your group, etc.
So one of the reasons that we redo this training live every year is because we're constantly reassessing, reevaluating the content, making sure it's still relevant, all up to date. And so what we also offer is we relook all the training every year. We host this incredible annual live training. And then we're also, after the training that is live, we also use the materials to provide ongoing training throughout the year. Kaylin, this is something that you recently did, right? You
Yes.
You are a brand new member to the SADAG Support Group Leader family. So brand new, in fact, that your group hasn't, in fact, launched yet. Tell us a
Mhm.
little bit about what your group is for and when it will be launching.
Thank you so much. So, my group is about depression, anxiety, and panic, and it's for young adults aged between 18 to 35 years. And I'm so excited about the launch date. It will be on the 2nd of July.
The 2nd of July. So if that
Yeah.
group took your fancy, I'll also ask our press team just to share Kaylin's poster in our chat group so that you have all of that information there. So Kaylin is someone who has really, really just very recently done the training. What would you say about the training?
For me, the training was a transformative experience because I gained so much valuable insight and skills and knowledge on how to address mental health issues and also how to facilitate or start my own support group. So the training was very interactive, and that is something that I enjoyed so much. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kaylin. So I'm going to our fourth guest, and he's our in-betweener. So we have Tazwell, the veteran, Kaylin, brand new and ready to get launching. And Michael, you launched your group earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct, Crystal. Yes.
And tell us when you launched, what's your group all about? Is it online, face-to-face, as much information as possible?
It's a face-to-face group here in Alberton. We focus on people that have recently gone through a breakup, divorce, or separation. And it's to support the mental health in that area. And we launched in March. So we've got, what's that, 3 months now. It's quite exciting. I enjoy it, and I've grown a lot in that period, and I've seen some members make some reasonable shifts. It's nice to be in that space.
A big thing that we often emphasize during the training is that all of our support group leaders are as much a member of the group as any other member. And being part of that group can be incredibly healing. Michael, have you found that to be the case for you personally as you've launched this group, supported others? What has your experience been like?
Yes, absolutely. I'm not just leading, I'm going through those cycles myself, having been divorced and a recent breakup. Start seeing how patterns play out, and you can support in that space as well. Being on the journey a little bit further down the road in certain areas can give newer members a lot more confidence that there is hope at the end of the tunnel. When it's brand new in your life, you feel overwhelmed and it's very difficult to cope. Things are fresh. When other members start stepping into the room and sharing their experience and supporting you both emotionally on one hand, but then also sharing experiences on the other, give you a sense of I'm not alone and there is hope at the end of the tunnel, or light, shall I say.
Caswell, just piggybacking off of what Michael just said, how is being in a support group unique in terms of who would be in the group, and why might they have a better understanding of what you're going through than someone like a family member or a friend or a loved one?
What is important, I think, is when we have lived experience, like what Michael said, that he has gone through that journey, and I believe that each journey that is there's no it's a lifetime journey, and that's what makes it so unique. And that when we look at our lives and we reflect on certain things, we are then be able to give better support. So this is exactly how the reason why that drives me. That's the drive behind every alternative Saturday when I wake up, and I'm excited to prepare in the week already for our talks that we're going to have. That's what drives me, because I know how it felt when I had no support. I know how it felt when there were people that wanting to support me, but they didn't know how to support me. And that drive gives me the hope to reach out to those people that um, that requires this necessary help, to make sure that they go through life not the way or not in the same way or depth of pain that I went through. So that motivates me, and like also what Michael said, is the lived experience, and that helps a lot, because you can resonate better with people. People they feel as there is empathy, there is and that what just makes this entire experience of a support group leader much more better. Obviously, yes, we learn along the way. We require the certain tools to even become a better support group leader. And even I've taken the initial step, even to do a course, just a counseling course, not to counsel the people, but just to support my community better. So, and that is so important, especially when you have that lived experience, Crystal.
So I think you bring up something really important there, Tazwell, is the role of who can apply to be a support group leader, and do we need a history in terms of mental health? Do we need to be mental health practitioners? Anita, can you weigh in on this for me?
Yes, not just anybody can be a support group leader. Also, the first thing that you need to look at is the age of the person. We ask for people to be 23 years and older in order to start a support group, but you're more than welcome to join a support group from the age of 18. So, yeah, taking that into account, and also, and joining support group, when you look at people that's probably gone through medical health conditions, etc., and you look at your mental health, is the person well enough to start the support group? Okay, fine. If you have been to see a psychologist or a therapist, how long have you been taking your meds? Or if someone comes and say, you know what, I want to start a support group. I've stopped taking my medication. We also got to look at those as, are you okay? How long ago have you stopped taking your medication? And how are you feeling, etc. We also look at, not everybody should start a support group, or there are how can I say, times where you need the help first. And so I would say, Crystal, it's important to weigh where we are in when we're asking those that's applying to start a support group the questions, to see where we are, to do that basic checks as well, which is so important, because you don't want someone starting a support group and down the road feeling, you know what, this is not the place to be, because then what happens to all those members in the group that's dependent on the support group leader? So yeah, that's also very important. Thank you.
So I think, Anita, what you were just referring to there was more in terms of the screening. How do we make sure that someone is ready to start a support group? And there is a massive, massive focus on SADAG's side to always first do no harm. And so what we're always encouraging or always looking out for in a support group setting is the well-being of the support group leader, the well-being of the support group member, and the well-being of the support group as a whole. And so some of those things that Anita was alluding to was, what if I'm not ready to start a support group? Or can you help me to decide if this is a good call or not? But Anita, what I was really trying to unpack there was, do I need to be a mental health professional to start a support group?
Okay, well, thanks, Crystal. No, you do not have to be a mental health practitioner or a therapist or a psychologist. You don't have to be for that role in order to start your support group. The support group is led, it's by people or by patients for patients at the end of the day. It is that space that we create with like-minded people that's gone through these experiences come together and share. It's holding space for each other where they can feel heard, they can share their experiences and not feel guilty sharing the experience. They don't have to feel I'm being judged in any way. It's a family, it's a group of people that's been through this and they know how you feel. They're not going to tell you what to do, but they can feel. So no, you don't have to be a professional in order to be to start the group.
And I think it's also important here to kind of distinguish between the fact that support groups are not there to replace therapy. They're not there to replace the role of the mental health practitioner. And so often SADAG will even go as far as describing our support groups as supplementary support. You've received your diagnosis, you're managing your condition, but you're looking for that ongoing support from a group of people who really understand, who know what it's like if you say, I couldn't get out of bed this morning. I haven't left my bed in 3 days. There's no judgment for that. There's no, why haven't you gotten up out of bed? What are you doing? Just get out of bed. It's accepting you for where you are right now in an environment where people have had firsthand experience, as Tazwell mentioned, of living with that mental illness. But circling back to Michael, because Michael was mentioning earlier that his group is for those who have gone through separation, be that divorce, a bad relationship breakup, people who may be really struggling. So, Michael, would I need a diagnosis to come to your group? And who is going to give me a certificate to say, I agree, Crystal has been divorced?
No, that is not going to be the experience I think you'd find on the ground. I get a lot of calls in of their circumstances, and my first check is, like you mentioned earlier, are they on prescription? Are they seeing anyone? Are they safe for the room? And that's really just the only requirement. Apart from that, like Anita said earlier, as long as you're over 18, they're welcome into the room and I support them from that place. Originally, it was meant to be for men, but I've realized we are human. We are all going through the experience. So the support group has opened itself up to both.
So to our viewers, you can obviously see even in this relatively small room, we have 4 very different, diverse types of support group leaders. So while Anita is a support group coordinator at SADAG, she also, in fact, is the support group leader of several groups. She oversees our healthcare workers care network support group, which takes place on the last Thursday of every month. She runs our Empower support group, which actually takes place on the second Friday of every month. So Anita has had a very busy day of support groups because before she attended that support group, she actually hosted our support group leaders support group meeting. Anita, why is it important to have a support group for support group leaders? And what kind of other ongoing support does SADAG offer after someone has launched their group?
Okay, thank you for that, Crystal. Yes, it's been a busy morning. Okay, so with regards to having a support group for the support group leaders, it's the coming together, it's that connection. I would call it our debrief session. Anita, like this is what happened during the week, and it's not just for me; it's for all our support group because they now my members, and we come together. We're there for each other to listen to what someone's gone through. Okay, if, for example, if there was a situation that they went through and they say, this is how we spoke about it, this is what we said, we'd come up with, okay, fine, that's great, but these are also alternatives that we could have used for that particular member. So the group setting is so important. As much as we're there for each other, it also provides us with different ways of looking at things, with different views, etc. And I get super excited for my sessions that I have, because it's just that passion that drives you. It's the members coming together wanting to chat, and then just before you know it, our time's up, and it's you move on. But these sessions, and I'm sure Tazwell and Michael will agree, and Kaylin, you'll see it soon, that it's just amazing. It's the bond that you create in these sessions, the networking, and knowing that there's someone there for you. And Crystal, when you say, like, what support do we have as well, that we offer once people have launched, besides creating your posters and doing all the nice things, Kaylin, like you've seen, we also have that support where our support group leaders can message myself to say, like, Anita, I've only got 2 people, like, what can we do so that I can reach out to more people, and my group is launching, etc. So we have our social media advertisements that would go out, so you'd see that on social media. And we have amazing people that work in the background to get these things out there, to spread the word, create the awareness for your support groups. So yes, it's social media, it's even on our own platforms. With regards to our support groups, we will advertise the new posters for the new support groups. And for example, Tazwell will tell his friends or families or anyone, oh, there's a new group launching, and pass it on. So there's various ways that we offer that support in getting your support group out there.
So I think that's something that's been absolutely paramount to the development of our support group portfolio. And we know that SADAG actually started as a support group. And I think this is why this portfolio is so close to our hearts, in addition to all of the people it allows us to reach within the community. So once you're part of the support group family, we always say once a member, always a member. And so SADAG offers the training, they help advertising and promoting your group. There is a WhatsApp group for our support group leaders. There are the weekly connect sessions. Tazwell, something that comes up a lot, and I'm aware of time as we look at this question, is what if I start a group and I get a member, and for whatever reason they've joined the support group before it was time for them to join the support group, and now you're in a group with someone who's really, really struggling. What kind of support does SADAG offer you as a support group leader in the event of that happening?
So first, we listen. We listen to the member as to what exactly is going on. We then can assure them that it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to feel the way you are feeling right now. And what was such a great bless, it's a really good blessing to have the support of SADAG as well behind us, is that we can then refer them to a counselor, online counselor. The counselor can also put into their program just to follow up on that particular member. But what I do as well before a member, I do a background screening, and sometimes they don't know it's actually a screening, because the way we talk, the way we engage, I would ask certain questions, so it doesn't look too much structured in a way, so in a sense that I when they do join the group, I tell them about the pros and the cons of the support group, and most of them feel so comfort that they have that support from SADAG, like the counselors. Sometimes I would also say, don't worry, I will get a counselor to contact you, and maybe just go over whatever you require. And the nicest part of my group, Crystal, is that I have a very diverse group, and I love my group to bits. They are such an amazing group, and we have people that have experience with various kind of medical aids in terms of what other kind of supports that is available. Then we have people that are state dependent that would also be able to assist. So therefore our spectrum are quite broad, and we'll be able to assist that particular individual. So that is why I think the reason why after 3 years or so that I'm still with my support group. And yeah, so just the fact that we have SADAG there, and even for times when I have to feel a little bit overwhelmed, there was quite a few times that I know I can get hold of Anita, I can get hold of you, Crystal, and I say, okay, this is, maybe my session was a little bit overwhelming for me, but we all are human, and yeah, and we get affected about life, especially when you have that passion for people, when you have that, where you can feel for that. And it's yes, it can be a little bit overwhelming, but rest assured that we have SADAG at the background, supporting you as a support group leader, and also supporting your members if anything, if anything goes pear-shaped, or whenever whatever they require. So yeah, thank you, Crystal.
Thank you. I could speak to all of you literally all day. But I am aware that we're running out of time. But what I'd like to do is ask both Kaylin and then Michael, as two people who have recently done the support group leader training, who better to provide feedback or a testimonial. And I promise you, I haven't paid anyone to say anything nice. So this is very much their open and honest experience. What would you say to someone who was considering signing up and doing the free online support group leader trainer? Kaylin, let's start with you.
I would say go for it. It takes a leap of courage to do it. So I would encourage someone to do it. And even though you are feeling hesitant, I would still say go for it, because you never know what could come from it and what positive impact you can make.
Thanks, Kaylin. Michael?
Found the training very informative. I mean, there were things that were brought up that I hadn't actually considered. It was nice to take perspective into those things. But then effectively doing it is another thing. You're going to get that nervous impulse. Am I good enough? Can I do it? What if all these things come up? But once you've made that decision and you've got the date and the day comes, it might not get the results you want in the beginning in terms of membership, but just being in the room. I think when I launched, I had 5 come into the room, and that was overwhelming, even 5. But I've learned that you might tell yourself, I can't, but you're doing it, but now you can. Is that story actually valid? No. And that sense of self just builds. And that's what's been incredible about the journey so far. You just seem to disprove your unconscious theories, and it's just growth. That's all that's available.
To Kaylin, Tazwell, and Michael, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for making a difference in your communities and really being mental health advocates and making mental health matter. Anita, you are a face that hopefully a lot of our audience is going to be seeing a lot of for the next few weeks. So a big thank you to you. As I mentioned to our audience, we will be sharing the details to register if you haven't done so yet. It's free, it's online, and it's definitely worth it. So on that note, I wish everyone a very happy long weekend. Keep well.
Thank you, Crystal. Thanks, everyone.
Crystal,
Bye.
thanks, Anita.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.